I hate to break it to you, but your FAQs suck. In this video, I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons why and how you can make them better. So I've got news for you. If you create frequently asked questions for work, no one's using them. So I'm not saying FAQs are completely bad, but they tend to have a few issues. And when I first started my career, I was always asked to create FAQs, and I did it at the time, but now I do try to educate people on whether they're in fact needed. So people tend to want FAQs because of their closeness to the information, and they feel that everything needs to be communicated. However, I tend to find that if we can reduce the information that's critical to get to your audience and then use a range of modes to get that information to them, it's probably going to be a better experience for them and not as overwhelming. And the information actually gets used, unlike a lot of FAQs. However, I'm not saying that we should completely get rid of FAQs, so I want to cover the 3 reasons why your FAQs may be a bit lacking and people aren't using them, and how you can improve them if you feel FAQs are still needed. So the number one reason I find FAQs are an issue is that they're just way too long. No one's going through 20 pages to find the answer they're looking for. So if you are putting FAQs together, think about condensing them and creating a really succinct list of things that people don't already know. So if you've already communicated stuff to people, don't repeat that. Put in the questions that they actually have. The other thing is think about how you lay out and design that information, using a hierarchy and a way to either search or skim to find the answer they're looking for. So the second reason I think FAQs tend to not work is that there's no logical order to them. So not all FAQs suffer this, but I do find, especially when people in business are told to put FAQs together, they'll just shove a bunch of questions together with no logical order. So what you want to do is, once you've got your final cut of FAQs, start to logically group them so it's far easier for people to skim to the section they want and find the answer they're looking for. The third biggest issue I find with FAQs is they often don't answer the questions people are seeking. So there's a couple of reasons for this. Sometimes it's political and you actually just don't want to share that information for political reasons. In those cases, I sort of feel like if you are just answering the questions people already know the answer to, and all those big chunky questions that people really want to know, you're not giving them the answers to, it's probably better to just not have FAQs at all. Other times, you're not providing answers to questions people have because you simply just don't have the answers at this point in time. Now, I was recently on a program and there were a lot of unanswered questions, and I was asked to put together an FAQ, and I said, well, if us as the program team can't answer those questions that people have, what is the value of me putting together an FAQ that really just answers stuff people already know, and those big chunky questions aren't getting answered? In those cases, I don't necessarily think that you should not put together an FAQ. However, really thinking about what is the timeline that those questions will be answered, and then putting that in the FAQ. Giving people some assurance that the answers are coming soon can be helpful. Think about communication, or the thing about communication is it's really about building trust. So if you've got gaps everywhere, you're really eroding any trust that people have in your information. So if you can't answer questions, but you can provide people some assurance that an answer is coming, that is always an acceptable option. So that's my top 3 reasons why FAQs tend to be a bit of a waste of time. Now, I'm not saying you should never use FAQs, but what you should do if you are going to create FAQs is really think about what purpose they're serving and how you can make them valuable to your audience. Make your information easy to access, skim, and answer the questions people actually have. So I'd love to hear in the comments, are you a bit of an FAQ hater or lover? And as always, if you're interested in hearing about how you can manage all your information and communication and messages better, make sure you subscribe to my channel.